My name is Jenna June, and today we'll be going through a vinyasa class together. So please find a comfortable seat, or if you prefer to lay down on your mat. But I'll invite you just to kind of settle in. Maybe you notice the parts of your body that are touching the mat, whether that be your sit bones, whether that be your back, your tailbone. And I invite you to bring your left hand to your chest, your right hand to your belly. And without changing your breath, just notice how you're breathing right now. I invite you to close your eyes. Right now we're just going to check in with our body, see how we're feeling, scanning through from the top of the head, down into our neck and shoulders. Into our upper back, our middle back, and lower back. Checking in with our tailbone and our thighs, our calves, and finally scanning over to our feet. Just stay here for a few breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Maybe you notice your left hand rising and falling with your breath. Just take note. To begin, we're going to start with a couple rounds of box breathing. So with box breathing, we're going to be inhaling for 4, holding our breath for 4, exhaling for 4, and holding for 4. I like to imagine like a little box that you're kind of tracing around. And so when you're inhaling, you're tracing along the left side of the box. And then when you're holding, you're going across the top. And then when you're exhaling, across the right side. And when you're holding, across the bottom. So we're going to start with our inhale in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. And our last round, inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. Right now, allow your breath to come back to normal. Check in with your body, see how you're feeling right now. And whether you're seated or whether you're laying down, I'll invite you to come into child's pose. So let your big toes come together, knees go out to the side, your sit bones back towards your heels, and bring your arms out front. I'll invite you to bring your forehead to the mat, and at any time throughout the practice, feel free to join into this spot right here. I like to imagine when I'm in child's pose, it's like you're almost in your own little cave. So while you're here, just check in with your body, see how your energy levels are doing today. While you're in this little cave, maybe you listen to your inhale, listen to your exhale. And at any point throughout the practice, you can always come right back into this spot. You can play around with this pose, bring your knees further apart. Maybe we bring a foam block to our sit bones. Awesome. When you're ready, I'll invite you to join me for a couple rounds of cat-cow. So maybe if you want to use your cushion, you can put them underneath your knees. I'll ask your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hip bones. And all we're going to do here is just take notice, and we're going to start to draw our spine up and away while curling our head towards our belly button. Dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, and repeating that. I'm just going to go with our breath here. Inhaling to cow, exhaling to cat. Finding your breath here. Maybe you make this your own and you start to do maybe some movement with your hips as you're transitioning into cat and cow. Maybe your hips start to sway, start to find some motion in your spine. Awesome. From here, we're just going to warm up the wrists a little bit more. So we're going to take the fingers and we're going to start to turn them to point towards our knees. So if this is too much, you can always go up to the sides, or if you need a little bit more, pointing directly to the knees. From here, you can start to make little circles to the right. And to the left. Whatever feels good. Maybe you just stay like this. Maybe you continue to do your circles. Maybe you start to move backwards and forwards, noticing how our body feels in this moment. We're not going to lose our breath. So the more you can hear your breath, the better. And from here, you'll bring your hands out back to neutral, and we're going to go into our first downward dog. So curling the toes under, lifting the butt up and back, and come into an upside down V. If you're in here and you're like, this is not my jam, please head right into that child's pose. If not, we're up and back. Try to bring your tailbone up to the sky, relaxing our neck and shoulders. So trying to keep our arms away from our ears. And maybe you start to pedal out the feet. Bring your left foot close to the ground, your right foot close to the ground. Doing what feels good to you. Maybe you go up on your tippy toes. And you try to go back on your heels. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Awesome. Now on your next inhale, what I want you to do is bring your right foot up between your hands. And I want you to drop that left foot. Feel free to use a cushion on that left foot. And I want you to place the shoelace part of your foot down to the ground. Your front knee is at a 90 degree. So it's going, so your shin should be straight on with your ankle. And from here, you can choose to either plant your hands on your leg. You can choose your own adventure, so you can be one hand on a mat, hands on your leg, hands to heart center, or if you choose, you can bring your hands up and over. When you're in this pose, think of your hips kind of scissoring in together. So trying to create some tension within your hips. From here, in whatever variation you're in, I'll get you to drop your hands. Step that right foot back into downward dog. Reset. And I'll get you to bring that left leg up in between your hands. Dropping that back knee on a cushion. Maybe you ground in through that shoelace part of your foot. Hands come to a block. Hands come to your thigh. Hands come to your chest, or hands come up above your head. If your hands are above your head, I like to picture a big beach ball that you're holding. And just settle in here. Notice if one side feels a little bit different than the other. Awesome. Wherever you are, hands come to the mat, left leg goes back into downward dog. From here, what I want you to do is shift your weight forward so that you're in a plank. So when we're in a plank, you get to choose your own adventure once again. So whether your knees are lifted or your knees are to the ground, what I'll ask you to do is to have a flat back. So there should be a line from your shoulder all the way to either your feet or to the back of your knees. We're still here. Your shoulders are underneath your wrists. So whenever we're in a plank, choosing the best variation for you, so whether that's from your knees, from your toes. From here, what I'll get you to do is I'll get you to lower down, bring your chest to the mat, and then your chin to the mat. Right now your hands should be just below your shoulders. And I'll get you to bring them out in front and start to lift your back a little bit. So you might feel a nice gentle bend in your spine. You can get this to be more intense or less intense by bringing your hands closer to your body. Just breathing here. If this doesn't feel right, you're always welcome to put one hand above on the other and lay down. Just play here. Maybe you can go a little bit further. Awesome. And wherever you are, I'll get you to bring your shoulders, your hands back to the mat, pushing up into downward dog. Couple breaths here. Remember, your child's pose is always available. Awesome. I will get you to find a way to get to the top, your feet to the top of the mat. So whether that's a jump, whether that's a walk, whether that's a crisscross, whatever that looks like. Hands are still planted, or maybe they're on the shins, maybe they're to a block. Whatever feels right to you. We're trying to bring the crown of the head to the floor, so we're letting things let things go a little bit here. Breathing. Everyone's forward fold is going to look a little bit different. Maybe your feet are straight, or maybe your legs are straight. Maybe your knees are bent. Maybe you're on a block. Maybe you're not. Whatever that looks like to you. Wherever you are, I want you to bring your hands to your legs and slide up so that your back is flat. So it should be parallel with the floor. From here, dropping the gaze again, dropping down, and then rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae until we come into a beautiful mountain. Awesome, so feet are hip distance apart. Maybe your hands out to the side. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ear. We're inhaling and exhaling. Noticing how our body feels. We're gonna head into a couple sun salutations. So we know our options. We know our child's pose is always there. We know our plank options are always there. Doing what feels right for you, doing what feels right today. Awesome. What I'm going to get you to do is bring the hands up overhead. See if you can touch the ceiling and wiggle your hands, your fingers in front of you all the way down to the floor. Head tries to touch the ground. From here, hands go to the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, letting that all go. Plant your hands, step one foot back and then the other. And we're back in our beautiful little plank. Whether we're on our feet or on our toes or on our knees, that's perfect. From here, I want you to lower knees, your chest and your chin to the ground. Maybe your hands go out in front of you. Maybe they stay by your shoulders. And start to lift up a little bit. over here, we're keeping the shoulders away from the ears. On your next inhale, drop the chest back to the floor and push up into your down dog. From here, maybe you choose a different way to get to the top of the mat. If you walked before, maybe you crisscross your legs this time to get to the top. Meet in our fold. On our next inhale, we halfway lift. On our exhale, we fold. Inhale, we lift all the way up. Back into our mountain. Awesome. So from here, we're gonna go through that 2 more times to kind of flow through. We're going to go at a little bit of a quicker pace. So if you wanna keep up with that, you're more than welcome. Once again, you have that child's pose, you have that, that child's pose to go into. All right. So from mountain, on your next inhale, bring your hands up and overhead, looking at our hands. Exhale, hands to the floor, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come to shin. Exhale, hands to the floor, stepping 1 foot back, then the other. Taking a breath here. Inhale, drop knees, chest, chin. Exhale, lift the chest to the sky. Maybe you look up. Exhale, back to your mat, curling our toes under, pushing up into down dog. Couple breaths here. From here, walk, strut, crisscross, jump your way to the front, the top of your mat. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. 1 more time. Inhale, hands come up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Bring 1 foot back and the other into your plank. Couple breaths here. Inhale, drop knees, chest, chin to the mat. Exhale, lift your heart to the sky. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, push back up into downward dog. From here, find your variation of getting to the top of your mat in your forward fold. Inhale your halfway lift. Exhale your forward fold. Inhale, coming up vertebrae by vertebrae. Back into mountain. Check in with how you're feeling right now. Maybe you've created some heat in your body. Notice the parts of your body that feel warm. Awesome. From here, we're going to do a couple standing poses. So from here, what I want you to do is bring your hands to heart center. And I want you to take your right foot and step it towards the back side of your mat. I want you to picture like you are on a train track and not on a tightrope. So your feet shouldn't be right behind each other. They should be like that train track, one beside the other. So we're in our warrior one here. We're gonna make sure our front leg is, or our left leg is at a 90-degree angle or close enough. Our hip points are pointed to the top of the mat. Our feet are, our toes are on the mat, pointed towards the front of the mat. From here, you can have the variation, your hands can come to heart center. Your hands can come up beside you if you want extra support, or your hands can come up like you're holding that big beach ball. Feel the heat and the strength that's coming in this left leg. Notice the heat that's coming into your shoulders as well if your hands are up above your head. From here, maybe you stay here, maybe you sink a little bit deeper into that warrior one. Breathing into this pose. On your next inhale, I want you to drop that heel to a 45-degree angle at the back of your mat. Now I want you to swing your arm out to the side to open into your warrior two. Front leg stays at that 90-degree. Back leg is straight. Back foot is at a 45-degree angle. We're gonna check in with our arms, see if they're straight. And all you're gonna do is look over that middle finger. Right now our hips are open to the long side of the mat, so you might feel a juicy stretch. Maybe we stay here, maybe we sink deeper. When we're in this pose, we're cautious not to let our knee come in, but we want to keep it out so it's nice in a straight line with our ankle. I can still see my toe at the top. We're in this pose for 2 more breaths. From here, listen carefully. What I'd like you to do, flip that left hand so that your palm is facing the ceiling. What I want you to do is start to go back into your exalted warrior. So right hand goes below, maybe it comes to your thigh, maybe it comes to your shin. It doesn't come to your knee. So one of the others. Left arm goes up and back. Maybe you take a look at that left hand. Maybe you take a look at your right hand. From here, cartwheel your hands over. Our leg stays exactly how they are. Left hand goes to your thigh. Right arm goes up above. You might notice you have a nice, beautiful, long line of energy from your right toe all the way to your right fingertips. We're not collapsing into our leg. We're staying strong. Awesome. And on your next inhale, plant one hand, then the other. Drop your foot back, drop your knees, and come into a beautiful child's pose. We're back in that little cave like we were at the start of class. Maybe you notice how your body is feeling. Checking in with our breath. Maybe you need a little bit more time in child's pose, or maybe you meet me up into downward facing dog. From here, walk, step, or prop to the top of your mat in our beautiful forward fold. Inhale into our halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise on up. So we're going into our other side. So we're stepping the left foot back, keeping our toes pointed to the front of the mat. Right leg goes down into a 90 degrees. Hands come to heart center. Maybe they go up above your head. We're making sure our knee is tracking in line with our ankle. I can see my toe at the top of my big toe at the top of my knee. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you drop down a little bit further. Shoulders are away from our ears if we were holding that beach ball. And we're breathing here. Awesome. From here, I'm going to take my left hand and twirl it open to the long side of my mat. And while I'm doing this, I'm also bringing my back foot to a 45-degree angle with the back of the mat. So it's not flat against the back of my mat. My heel's a little bit further than my toes. Everyone's warrior two will look different, but you want to try to keep your leg at 90 degrees. Hands are out in front. Maybe you swivel your head back to your back arm. You notice if it's a little low, maybe it can be a little higher. And we're looking over our middle finger. Noticing if this side feels a little bit different than the other. From here we are taking our right hand, palm to sky, and leaning back over our left leg. Right leg stays where it is. Left arm is to our calf. Maybe it's to our thigh. Maybe it comes behind us. From here, we're cartwheeling our hands in front of us, right hand to right leg. And we're creating that beautiful line of energy from the left toes all the way to the left fingertips. Shoulders are away from the ears. And from here, we're cartwheeling down, planting both hands, stepping that foot up. Your choice of downward dog or child's pose. Connecting in with that cave we've created for ourselves. Seeing if we can create some audible breaths as well while we're down there. Awesome. No matter where you are, meet me at the top of your mat. Forward fold, come on up, we'll meet in mountain. So we're gonna do some balancing work right now. So you're gonna take a couple steps back. So you're gonna be about in the middle of your mat. From here, we're gonna do some tree. Tree is a choose your own adventure today. So with tree, you're going to ground in through your left foot. We're gonna start with the right. So ground in through our left foot. If you wanna be close to a wall, perfect. Wall would be a great use of support. Wherever you are, ground in through that left foot. Bring that right foot. Maybe your heel comes to your ankle, creating like a little kickstand. Maybe your hands come to heart center. Maybe your foot goes fully on your calf. So we're trying to kick that right knee out to the side. Maybe you're holding onto the wall. Maybe we're bringing that right foot all the way up to our thigh. Being careful not to put it on our knee. Maybe your hands are at heart center. Maybe they're on the wall. While we're here, we're finding a still point in the class. So we're not looking at other yogis. We're looking at something not moving, because I guarantee our yogis are moving. Couple breaths. You have the option to grow your tree up and out, or stay at heart center. You can feel your ankle muscles start to turn on, your thighs start to turn on. No matter where we are, we're breathing together. Awesome. On your next inhale, listen carefully. We'll get you to see if your foot is raised. See if you can bring your knee to the front of your body so that it's pointing the short side of your mat. See if you can hang out here for a couple seconds. Maybe we're rolling on the wall. Maybe our hands are still grown. Maybe they're at heart center. And finally, we'll drop that right foot. Shake it out a little bit. Maybe feel the difference. And we're gonna ground in through that right foot now. So right foot's into the mat, left foot comes into a kickstand. Maybe it comes fully off of the mat. Maybe it comes onto our thigh. Maybe your hands are on the wall. They could be at heart center. Try to get the left knee out to the side. I found my little spot on the floor that I'm looking at. Take notice if one side feels a little bit different than the other. Maybe on one side you were able to grow your tree. Maybe on this side you say, I'm gonna stay against the wall or stay with my kickstand, whatever that may be. One more inhale and exhale. I want you to start to bring your left knee to the front of your body. So hang out here for another couple seconds. Feel that beautiful burn in your leg and in your ankle. Before finally dropping it down. Giving yourself a little shake, a little pat on the back, and we'll meet back at the front of the mat. From here, inhale, hands go up and overhead. Take a look at those hands, maybe you give them a little wiggle. Exhale, drop them down in front of you, forward fold. Maybe when we're here, we go into ragdoll. So grabbing both elbows, maybe you shift to the left and to the right. Try to bring your head to the mat. Maybe when you're here, your knees are bent. Maybe they're not. Letting that head feel heavy. From here, we're dropping the hands to the floor, stepping one foot back, then the other. This is your last plank of the day. Choose wisely which one you want. Breathing here. Finally dropping the knees. Crossing the legs. Now that we're in seated, come to the middle of your mat. I'd like you to bring your feet to the mat so your knees are almost into your chest. What I want you to do is bring your arms out in front of you. Feel free to stay here, or maybe you start to lean back a little bit. So when we're reclining, we're starting to tune into our abdominal muscles. So I'm trying to bring my belly button kind of towards my spine. You can stay here, or maybe we start to play with lifting one foot and then the other. It's like you're doing like a little march. Maybe you stay here, maybe you go even further back so that you're sitting kind of on your tailbone. There's like a little sweet little spot between your bum and your back. Shoulders away from the ears. Just continue to play around with that. We can stay here, or we can choose to lift both legs. Our core is engaged. Play around, maybe you're a little deeper. Maybe you're sitting up a little bit higher. Playing around with straightening out the legs. Maybe they go super straight. Maybe they go not as straight. Maybe they're touching the floor. Wherever you are, touch those feet to the mat and slowly lower down. As slow as you can. So vertebrae by vertebrae. Until your back is completely on the ground. Your legs are still, or your feet are still to the mat. You're going to drop them to one side and then the other. I love when I'm able to hear you guys breathing, hear your breath. Almost like you're like a windshield wiper on a car, going back and forth. Feel that in your back. Maybe you choose to go right into corpse pose, or you bring your knees into your chest. You can rock side to side. It's like a little back massage. Trying to get our knees to our shoulders, or trying to get them into our chests. From here you can release your bind and grab the outside of your feet with your hands. Bring the soles of your feet to the ceiling. And maybe with your arms, you try to pull your feet down towards the ground. Once again, rocking side to side. In our happy baby. And whenever you're ready, soles of the feet come together. They kiss the mat. Legs go out to the side. And recline butterfly. Once you're here, you can take any last little stretches or twists or turns that you feel like your body is in need of or you're wanting to do. Whether that be figure four, maybe it's a supine twist. And whenever you're ready, legs out long. What I like to do is lift both my arms in front of me, and then I drop one and the other with my palms facing the ceiling. I can feel my legs kind of lay out to the side and start to relax. And we're staying in our corpse pose for a nice Shavasana. While we're here, I'd like you to notice the fact that you're breathing. Take note of your breath coming in and out of your body. Maybe you're able to take that breath and draw it deeper into the body. So when you inhale, you're able to bring it all the way into your belly. And then exhale. And on the next time, you're able to bring it all the way down into your legs. And exhale. And then you're able to bring it all the way into your feet. And exhale. I'd like you to draw attention to the crown of your head. Notice if you're holding any tension in the crown of your head, and picture it's really easy to let that go. Relaxing the forehead, making sure there's no creases or lines. And relaxing our jaw. We're taking your tongue away from the roof of our mouth. Notice our lips touching each other. Next, I want you to imagine that someone's taking a bucket of really, really warm water and they're putting it over your neck and on your shoulders. You're able to relax your shoulders away and down. Notice the parts of the shoulders that are in contact with the mat. Notice your tailbone or the part of your bum that's in contact with the mat. And maybe you imagine your mat is laying on sand. Picture it's easy to sink right into that sand. You're able to sink into your mat, which sinks into the sand a little bit deeper. We relax the top of our back, the middle of our back, and our low back. We see if we're holding any tension in the front of our thighs, in the sides of our thighs, and in the backs of our thighs. We can imagine that's easy to let that go. Relaxing your knees out to the side, and our shins, and the soles of our feet. And take note that your body is completely relaxed. I encourage you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you need. I want to say how proud I am of you guys today for listening to your bodies, for doing what feels right, knowing that our bodies are always trying to communicate with us, and it's up to us to connect with that, to listen to what our body is trying to tell us. The more that we listen, the more we're able to take care of ourselves, and the more we're able to take care of others as well. Once again, thank you for sharing your practice with me.